Hey guys, it's Paige or Duchess Celestia, and today's video is my last one on the main Artist Alley advice series, and it's what not to do as an Artist Alley customer. This one is less limited to just artists, so if you've been to a convention and bought art there, this is for you. You might not like it, but it's for you, and that's something. That isn't to say that it doesn't apply to artists, though. Like, you can sympathize with your rage-filled hearts because you've had more customers than you can count do these things. Or you might also find stuff that you've been doing when buying from other artists that you maybe shouldn't do. Regardless, I hope you guys find this helpful. As always though, let's talk about what I'm drawing first. Today's piece is Ari from League of Legends, which, as anyone who's ever been to one of my streams can tell you, I play and talk about a lot. To be clear, I fucking hate it. It's the worst game in the world, and it fills me with fury and does nothing but drive me insane. But I love it, and I can't and won't stop playing it. More importantly though, I've always loved the game's character designs, even before I started playing it. And I derive actual, genuine enjoyment from drawing them, which cannot be said about the game itself, but whatever. Not gonna stop me from playing it, nothing does. Anyway, Ari was the first League champion that I knew of before playing it, and the first one that I ever wanted to draw since I was like 15 and saw someone cosplay her on Heroes of Cosplay. And I finally got around to actually drawing her a while ago. Also, yes, she only has 4 tails in this. I'm sorry, I couldn't fit them all without it looking crowded, and 9 is just a lot of fucking tails. Just imagine 5 of them flop down on the ground behind her while 4 are up and vibing. This piece is available on both prints and apparel, so if you like it, please check out my store. Okay, so time for the actual topic. What not to do as an Artist Alley customer. Not just when you're buying stuff and talking to artists, but general all-around behavior when you're in the alley itself. Like most of my videos, I'm going to try to organize my disaster of a list into 2 main categories, which in this case are behaviors, both at tables and in the alley itself, and verbal stuff when actually interacting with artists, and we'll start with the former. Actually, before we do start with the former, let me just give you a little bit of a disclaimer here. I've been selling at conventions for a long time, and as such I've had a lot of irritation build its way up to pure fucking rage over the years, and I know I'm going to be pretty passionate in listing this stuff. But please know that these are just my opinions and that I do mean them with respect. If you do any of these things, I don't think you're an asshole as a person. I just think that those particular things that you may have been doing are liable to give me an aneurysm. I don't mean to offend anyone, nor do I mean to generalize customers or anything like that. Okay, now let's start with behaviors not to do or exhibit. Behaviors not to exhibit? Behaviors not to do isn't right, obviously, but proper grammar clashes with the what not to do vibe, so okay, whatever. Anyway, first of all, let's talk about some general awareness of where you are. To you, you might just be hanging out at a con with your friends, and as far as you're concerned, it's just a social environment. But the problem with seeing Artist Alley as a casual social environment where you could just have fun is that for the people selling there, it isn't that. It's a place of business where we're trying to make a living. And because artists and attendees can view the same place so differently, that means that it might not occur to you that while you're just having a good time and taking cosplay photos in front of an artist's table, the artist is about to fucking explode because you're blocking traffic to their literal livelihood. I know that for the most part, it's just a big difference in perception of the environment, and it isn't usually meant as disrespect towards the artists, but let me segue this into a real fucking blunt statement. The exhibitor hall is a place of business, not a place to take photos or hang out with your friends. Do not stand in front of the table, either taking pictures of other cosplayers or getting yours taken. People are trying to sell their shit, and other people are trying to buy that shit. And by taking up the entirety of the already limited space that is the walkway between tables, you're essentially saying a gigantic fuck you to everyone that isn't you and actually has business to do there. You're preventing artists from making sales, preventing attendees from moving along in an orderly manner, and making 90% of the people around you want to scream. This also applies to people who stand in front of a table just chatting with their friends for long-ass amounts of time. I get that you're having a good time with your friends, but when there are 5 of you and you point out a print to them and suddenly you're all talking to each other in depth about the fandom it's from and taking up the entire table space, oh my god, don't. Just don't do it. An artist's table is their store and you're loitering. The window in which to make sales in Artist Alley is small, and if your group is chatting in front of a table, even if you're talking about the art itself, you're closing that window for the artist to make sales to tens of other people that are passing by while you're talking and blocking it all. On the topic of photos, please don't take photos of Artist Alley tables without permission. You might just be trying to show their work to someone else who you think might like it, or are taking a photo to remember the table for later, or to follow the artist online. But a lot of artists aren't okay with having their work photographed. More than that, you're taking a photo of their art, yeah, but they're also in it. Would you like it if someone just took a photo of you without permission? If If you're at a con and cosplaying, this has probably happened to you and you probably know how annoying it is. A lot of artists will have signs saying no photos, but that shouldn't be necessary. Please just assume that they're not okay with it and ask them before taking photos. Next, the table itself. Please don't put shit on our tables. Too much stuff in your hands? I'm sorry, but that's your problem. I get it, it's a table and people put stuff on tables. That's why we put our fucking merch there. Where it could be damaged by your venti vanilla bean frappuccino because you looked at our places of business and thought, it's free real estate. It's one thing if your hands are honestly full and you need to put something down in order to make a purchase. In that case, ask first. It's not hard. 90% of artists will say yes. You'll have offered the bare minimum standard of respect and you can proceed. But most of the people that do this are just idly stopping by, not making a purchase, and putting their bullshit on our tables while organizing their bags or fixing their cosplays. Don't do that. It's so disrespectful and it's infuriating. On more than one occasion, I've found people's forgotten shit on my table and had to actually take the time to track them down online via the convention group or hashtag in order to return it. Yes, there is sometimes a lost and found, but do you think I have the time to leave my table and go halfway across the venue to find it in the middle of the Artist Alley day? And do you think people actually go to the lost and found, or do you think that they go to every table in the hall asking for their lost item instead? I think you know the answer. Lastly, don't touch merchandise that isn't clearly displayed for that purpose. Like a bowl of buttons, a portfolio, or something that's clearly there to be flipped through or perused. I sold Pokeball dioramas for a while, and they were relatively delicate. And the sheer fucking volume of people that thought it was alright to pick these things up without asking, and then roughly shoving it at their friend to show them. Oh my god. This shit gets me heated just to talk about it. Please have some common sense and don't assume that everything on the table is for you to grab. Also, while we're talking about this, please don't let your kids play with table displays. Tablecloths, merch, signs, decorations, it's all fair game to a kid. And no one is blaming the child here when it's the parents that are letting them treat these tables like playgrounds. Next section is the social or verbal aspect. And first off, please don't try to hold a long conversation with the artist. I don't mean this to sound snooty or to suggest that we don't want to talk to you or something, but like I said before, this is our store and we're here to make sales, not conversation. Customer relations are obviously important and conversation is naturally a part of sales. But if you're talking nonstop with an artist about your favorite character or what panel you're looking forward to going to or just idly chatting with them, you're taking advantage of the fact that they can't not talk to you without being unprofessional and you're losing them sales. This is especially true when you're not even planning on buying anything and you just want to chat. I've seen this a lot with attendees who come to the convention alone, and talking to vendors is one of the ways that they try to make a connection with other people. That's great, and I am all about making new friends, and I'm not even saying that artists don't want to talk to these people. I'm just saying that while for you this is a social interaction where you have all the time in the world to just vibe and hang out, these are valuable minutes in which artists could be and should be trying to sell their stuff. It's not that they don't like you or don't want to talk, it's that tabling at cons is fundamentally about selling their art, and while they're at their table, that needs to be the priority. If you really like them and want to hang out or just chat, ask them if they'd be free to hang out after the alley closes. That way you can make a new friend while also not losing your new friend business. And you'll be in an environment where the artist doesn't have to be professional and can actually talk to you for real rather than using their Karen customer service voice. This also goes for people who want to show artists their work or portfolios. I completely understand this one. I remember when I was younger, all I wanted when I went through the Artist Alley was to be like the artists and hear what they thought about my work. It's not meant to be intrusive or presumptuous, and I absolutely know that. And honestly, when people do this, I genuinely do want to see their work. I want to hear about it, I want to talk about it, I want to follow them online. But just like how I might want to hang out with some of the people that want to chat and vibe, I can't, because this is my store and I need to focus on sales. Instead, please just ask if they'd be willing to look at your work after the alley closes. Next, more sales-wise, don't try to barter with artists or guilt them into giving you a discount. Honestly, artists usually are already underselling themselves, and even if they aren't, it's so fucking arrogant and obnoxious to try to get them to lower their prices just for you. It's even worse if you try to make us feel bad, like, oh, I only have $5 left, but that's $10, but I really want it. Like, okay, great. Manage your money better next time, and come back then. I know that's harsh, but if you wouldn't go into a store and tell the cashier, oh, this fucking milk is $10, but I only have $5, what will I do? Don't do it to artists just because the environment is less corporate. I don't know what milk is $10 and I don't want to know, but you get the point. And more on that, don't argue about the artist's prices or compare them to others. Like, your prints are $20, but that person's are $15. So shouldn't yours be $15? Nope. If I wanted to sell them for $15, I would sell them for $15. Thank you, goodbye. Again, I know it's harsh, but it feels like people think that because these are small business owners and individuals rather than corporations, they can get away with treating them way worse. If you're buying from artists, you're buying a product from a seller like you would at a store, and I don't see any of you walking into a fucking 7-Eleven and being this presumptuous. I'm sure there are people that do actually, but I don't want to know them any more than I want to know the $10 milk. Finally, last point, please don't frequently check in with, or more accurately, harass artists that you've commissioned during conventions. It's one thing if they're taking longer than estimated and you have a limited amount of time that you already made them aware of and you have to go soon, etc. But if an artist says, cool, it'll be a few hours, I'll text you when it's done, and you're back at the table within half an hour to say, oh, I was just nearby and I wanted to see if maybe it was done yet, you're just gonna make them anxious, stressed, and probably liable to take longer as a result of that. Okay, finally, we're done. I know that I got a little heated, and I'm sorry that I'm such an aggressively angry human being. To be clear, I love 90% of the people who stop by my table, and these are just some of the things that piss me off personally, and that I find to be really disrespectful. But I know full well that the people don't mean to be disrespectful most of the time when doing these things. And if you do them, I don't hold it against you at all. It's the actions that give me aneurysms, not the people. My near constant rage isn't personal. I still love you. Please come back. Oh god, she took the kids. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope I didn't offend anyone with this one. Before I end this off though, I'm excited to say that I am now committing to an upload schedule of once a week, every Friday or Saturday. I know I don't sound excited. I am, I haven't slept. Anyway, I'll be posting a Twitter poll about the next video's topic on that same day every week. So if you guys want to have a say in the kind of content that I make, please check that out as well. This week's poll is linked in the description, so do me a solid and let me know which of these 4 options sounds cool to you. Thank you guys again for watching, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe.